Hallo, is me sé Katie White. Si iad cheannaiste hunnam ag bunscoil taobh na Pátaige, agus ba hallan fáilte mhór a chud adamh ula, go háirid na tealaithe na há úr go an scoil acin. Hi there, my name is Katie White and I'm one of the deputies here at Bunscoil taobh na Pátaige. I'd like to welcome you all, especially to those families who are new to our school. In my role as Deputy Head Teacher at taobh na Pátaige, I am responsible for the teaching and learning and pastoral care for children from primary 1 to primary 3. So that means, as well as your class teacher, I will be your main contact for the time that your child is with us. So any questions you may have can be directed to me and I'll do my very best to help you. Usually this session is done in person in the hall, in the assembly hall at taobh na Pátaige, and I'm really sorry that that isn't the situation for you this year, but I will try and make it as informative as I can, and I hope that you learn everything that you need to know and get all the information that you want from this session. I'm going to do it on a PowerPoint, so it's going to be a bit of like a slideshow, and I hope that that's all right for you all as well. We're really lucky that we have two guest appearances, one from Common and Parent and one from our Parent Council, and they will be able to give you some information about the parent bodies and what they do for our school. So I'm going to just start with the PowerPoint just now, and we'll go through the main information that you'll need to know for when your child starts school with us in August. So we're going to just start now. Atá chugs an scoil starting school at Bunscoil taobh na Pátaige. So just to speak a little bit about Gaelic immersion in Class Hun, that's Gaelic for primary 1, and talk a little bit about how this looks in practice. We aim in primary 1 to 3 to follow a total immersion policy. That means the teachers that will be with them all of the time will have Gaelic and will use Gaelic in the classroom. We try and do this with all lessons, and we're managing that apart from forest school. So it's an English speaking teacher who takes the children for forest school at the moment. We have a very strong oral language focus, and we do that using songs and stories and games, and those are built into the day every day. That's the basis, that's what we teach around, particularly at the beginning of primary 1. Now you'll see that our primary ones, there's quite a lot asked of them because they're learning a new language, and certainly in the first couple of years of school you'll notice that your child, particularly if they're only learning Gaelic, their progression through the curriculum is a bit slower maybe than say some of their peers who are in an English medium school. And this is because obviously they're learning a new language, and our real focus is getting them comfortable with Gaelic so that they can access the curriculum as they go forward. So they may start to read and write a bit later than somebody in a English speaking primary 1 would, but don't worry about that. That's quite typical, and what's really important in primary 1 is that they get a good grasp of the language and good grasp of the vocabulary, and can access the curriculum using Gaelic. So we really encourage them to use their Gaelic in primary 1 with their friends and with their teacher, and that might mean in the beginning that they just have a few key phrases. So they might be able to say Hammy and Shaw, I'm here, for example, if when the teacher is doing the register, or they might be able to say An fit me dog an they might be able to ask if they can go to the toilet, or they might have keywords and be able to use a mixture of Gaelic and English to begin with, and it's quite normal for children to respond in English when they come to school, because you know the most important thing for them is to make themselves understood, and we're used to that, and we usually say back to them the thing that they're saying to us in English, and we encourage them to repeat after us for what they're trying to say. So we're getting them to use their Gaelic and to have Gaelic coming out of their mouths as many times a day as is possible. And we'll build on these phrases and vocabulary gradually until they have confidence to communicate. We sometimes explain things to children in English if it's a really important thing or they're having to do something for the first time, but that's quite normal. It does help them sometimes, but we'll always say to them, you know, I'm going to explain this in English now so that everybody understands, and children are quite accepting of that, and we encourage them to let us know if they're not understanding anything. And if sometimes if children are upset, we'll speak to them in English, and we'll try to do that kind of subtly, you know, take them to the side and talk to them about how they're feeling. So a typical day in a primary 1 classroom. So these are the things that we do in a typical day. We have some direct teacher input, so the children being on the carpet and engaging with a song or a story or some direct teaching. We have time for self-directed play, much like what they would do in nursery, and they'll be very used to that, and they'll be very good at that. They'll be able to navigate that themselves very well. And the teacher would support that and try and get some Gaelic in there and ask them what they're doing and use Gaelic vocabulary for the different areas that they're accessing. For example, blokkichen is the blocks, or genyavach is sand, or ushke would be water, yalling or paint, art and paint. Just dropping that Gaelic vocabulary in as they're playing. We focus on small group work in primary 1, so we often do whole class kind of input, and then we'll do small group focus work for their literacy and numeracy, storytelling or drawing and into writing, or numeracy work where the children are using counters and things to get to grips with their number work. Lunch and break times, they happen. So we have a morning break and we have a lunch break where the children go outside. Their outdoor learning, that will be, we try and include that in most days' work, so that they have some of their learning will be done outdoors, and that will be particularly important going forward, I think, with the current situation. PE, and we have a music specialist. These things like PE and music may be a bit different when we go back to school in August. They may not get sessions with a PE specialist or a music specialist, or we may not have PE in the hall, but we'll certainly make sure that they get plenty of physical exercises, and we do lots of singing in our classrooms. So our priorities when we go back in August are health and well-being, settling into primary 1, making sure everybody feels safe and everybody feels happy and everybody's making friends and building those good relationships. And that's really a citywide focus for us, and I'm sure it's a national focus, that making sure that children just feel really secure in school and happy to be there. Gaelic literacy, and in primary 1 really we're talking about Gaelic language acquisition and making sure that the children are picking up the language and getting to use their Gaelic, and also numeracy, getting to grips with the numbers, learning the numbers in Gaelic if they don't know them already, just those early numeracy skills. So just a little word about the beginning and the end of the school day typically. So usually children are dropped off in the playground. We used to invite parents to drop the P1 children off in their classroom, but we don't know if that will be possible given social distancing rules. However, we'll let you know about that when we know. But at the moment, I think it looks like you'll probably drop them off in the playground and they'll come in to school. and we'll take them in, and then you'll be able to collect them from the playground again. And we'll confirm those start and finish times shortly with you. The children who are bused, they are usually dropped off and greeted by one of our pupil support assistants at the gates, and they will come into the classroom themselves. And obviously, when it's their first days and things, the pupil support assistants will be there in the playground to show them where to go and to help them. There may be some changes in these regular routines, but we're awaiting guidance from the council to see exactly how that looks in August. So Auckland, they are our wraparound care provider, and usually they provide on-site care for children between 8 AM and 5:50 each day. They provide holiday clubs and help with homework, and they're a huge asset to our community. The children who attend Auckland would be dropped off and collected directly by them from the primary one classrooms. Do remember that they are a private company and all booking needs to be done directly through them, and they have a great website, and if you send them an email they'll be able to guide you. They're awaiting advice also about the services they can provide going forward, but you can get all the information directly from them about the services that they are going to be able to provide come August. So I hope you've been enjoying our transition project, our bear hunt, Sirig Mahan. It's all been up on the Scoláirith blog on the school website, and we'll really be using this as a starting point for our children when they come in August. It's something familiar for them. We'll be going over the story, we'll be acting out the story, we'll be using the vocabulary and building on that when they come in August. It's really nice for them to have something that feels a bit familiar when they join us, and we always have a transition project, and this year it's Hashindola Hirig Mahan. So these are some of the things that you might want to practice with your child before they start school. It's very helpful for them and their confidence if they're able to do these things without support. So putting on a jacket and opening and closing it, putting on shoes, and we would ask that all children have a pair of indoor shoes, soft shoes, just the kind of plimsolls that you can buy in the supermarket or any of the big shops that sell school uniform, with Velcro that are easy to slip on and off. If your child has laces on their shoes, they should be able to do the laces themselves, but if not, there's plenty of shoes with Velcro. Washing and drying your hands carefully is an important one now, and so they should all understand how to wash and dry their hands and how to blow their nose as well. So these are the things that we ask children to have when they start school. Their school uniform, and I'll speak about that in a minute. A bag to keep them in, some shoes, indoor shoes as I said. Some wellies are very handy to keep in school, and for when they start forest school those wellies will be handy. And also the children go out even if it's a bit wet outside, so if they have some wellies, that will really save those lovely school shoes that you've bought for them getting soggy and scuffed and things. So a healthy snack each day, just something small, maybe a piece of fruit and one other thing. We don't like to spend too much time eating a whole banquet of snacks, but just one or two things to keep them going for the morning. A water bottle and weather appropriate clothing. As I said, we do go out when the weather is a bit drizzly, so a jacket with a hood is a really good idea. Please label everything that you send your child in with, all of their school uniform, all of your Tupperware if you'd like to get it back. It's, remember that we have a school with over 400 children and they all have the same school jumper, so it's really important that you label all of their clothes. So these are the options for school uniform. Please feel free to mix and match whatever suits your child. There's no requirement for girls to be wearing a skirt or a dress. It's only if they want to. It's quite fine for them to be wearing jogging bottoms or school trousers if that's what they're comfortable in. Here are some resources that you might find useful over the summer if you want to do a little bit of Gaelic learning yourself, or you want to keep up the Gaelic with your child. There's so much available out there at the moment, and Gaelic for Parents is very good. Lots of songs and stories on there for you. BBC Alapa is a wonderful resource. You can just switch on the TV and watch some Gaelic cartoons. These are some apps that you may find helpful. Duolingo for Gaelic learning for adults. Apperston, that's a really nice one. That has some simple phrases with audio that you can use, things that you might use around the house. And Guhan Beka has some nice words and phrases and some nice songs. So now I'm going to pass you over to two of our parents, one from Coria na Parent, that's the Parent Council, and one from Cumann na Parent, that is the Gaelic body that covers Gaelic education for 3 to up to high school. That okay?
Hello, Falchigu Corlin and parents, Bunscoil Tovna Park. Welcome from the Parent Council of Bunscoil Tovna Park, and hope your transition is going well for Class Un. My name's Seamus Spencer, and along with Natasha, we're the co-chairs of the Parent Council. Also helping us with Secretary and Treasurer roles are Kat, Eleanor and Benjamin, and we, along with the Parent Forum, meet to support the school, to promote Gaelic medium education, and to communicate, interact and liaise with the parent body. And if you have an interest in becoming more active, whether as a class rep or in any of the working groups, which I'll list shortly, we'd encourage you to step forward and make contact with us. Always keen for volunteers. You'll find that the school, if you're new to it, is a very welcoming community, and parents and carers are very active in supporting the work of the staff and the pupils in their learning. We have working groups within the Parent Council which cover areas such as the gardening and eco, fundraising, and also wraparound care. So partner agency Organon provide wraparounds, and we've got parents who work with them to look at improvements and enhancements, and also in those other areas. So if you've got a different or less time commitment and certain skills, then we'd encourage you to look to link in with those groups. There's information that can be found on the groups on our website, and I believe links will be shared to all these. And we've also got a closed Facebook group, which is a useful source of information. We use parent mail with the school, and then of course we've got meetings, and obviously in this current COVID world, we're doing a lot of work online, so virtual meetings, and looking at ways to ensure that the messages and the views of parents are being captured and fed back and influencing the operation of the school. We also work with Common and Parent, Dunedin, who are a volunteer group that represent the views of parents of pupils in GME, Gaelic medium education, whether preschool or Scholaric or primary or the art school at James Gillespie, and with them we're in conversation with the City Council around the future developments of GME, and in particular the secondary provision for GME. So there's plenty of time to find out about that. Good places to go for information include the new Parent Council website. There's a frequently asked questions page on that, which is pretty useful. And the school website, the school handbook, I'd encourage you to look at. A number of people don't find out about that until later on in their children's time, but it's got lots of things together in the same place. In terms of contacting us, there's an email address for the chairs, which we shared at the end of this, and then the other critical email address is the admin one for the school. But generally, yeah, we welcome to the school if you're new, and if you've got other pupils, then enjoy the journey of learning the school, and we look forward to seeing you, whether on a screen or when doors reopen back face to face, and all the best for the transition. Thanks.
Hello, duine, Smisha Kevin Leishan, agus ha Gieshmach Akam sa Skol, ha Sorley, han an class 3 and Drasta, besan an class Kehad, San Lunestol, nu the Hoshachus Mavakela, Alistair, an class Hun, agus ha min Namnyach Gedam, common apparent Grenadian. Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Leishan. I've got 2 sons in the school. Sorley is in C3, going into C4 in August, when my other son, Alistair, will be starting C1. And I am the convener of Common Apparent Edinburgh. Common Apparent is the representative body of all parents and carers with children in Gaelic medium education, from Crolligan through Scolarich, Bunskol, and right up through Ardscol. Across the country, but obviously our group has a particular focus on Edinburgh, and we advocate for and promote and support the establishment and maintenance of Gaelic medium education. It's a particularly interesting time as far as Edinburgh is concerned, with demand having increased considerably over the last few years, to the point where our current arrangements for secondary school need to be looked at in the longer term, that there's just not going to be the capacity at James Gillespie's going forward to deliver GME, and also to secure a second primary school in the city. So just to fill you in with where we are at the moment, the council has come back with some proposals earlier this year for a Gaelic medium school to be built co-located on the site with the English medium Liberton High School. So they would be separate schools, separate staff, separate entrances, separate buildings, separate curriculums and policies, but there would be some facilities that they would share. The degree to what that would be exactly isn't known at this stage. At the same time, dependent on a resolution to the secondary school situation, they would hope to be able to use the Darragh Annex in Tollcross, just off Gilmore Place, which is currently being used by James Gillespie's, particularly to help with the GME work. They'd hope to convert that afterwards into a second primary school in the city. So that's the proposals as it stands. They came to tell parents that earlier this year we had a follow-up meeting with parents, an event online, and many email submissions with parents telling us what they think. We reported back to the council that many parents had some issues with regards to the proposed location of the secondary school, some concerns with regards to co-location and the impact that could conceivably have on GME. And so we're currently working with the council to try and answer some of these questions and some of the others that parents raised with us. And we're still hopeful that early in the new academic year we might be able to get some progress with regards to this. So it's an exciting time for GME in the city, and it's an important time for parents to be engaged in the process, and to contribute your thoughts, questions, concerns, ideas with everybody else through Common Apparent. Please join our mailing list. I have put the website address below. Please have a look at that for more information, latest news. But please, join up to our mailing list on there so we can keep you informed of developments and any events that are upcoming. I'll also put that link on some of the other social media platforms as well, and the Parent Council website with their permission, and on the Facebook page for Clasahern parents and carers. And I hope we'll see you at some of our events in the near future. If you do see me around in the playground or anywhere else, or anybody else from our committee, please let yourself be known, ask us any questions, let us know your thoughts, but most importantly, please keep yourself informed, engaged, and let us know your ideas. Anyway, cheers for now. Cheery and Rasta.
Okay. I'd like to just speak now a little bit about the COVID recovery plan. So this is the information that we have just now. School officially opens to pupils in Edinburgh on Wednesday the 12th of August. Staff will be in on the 10th and the 11th preparing the school, but children will start on Wednesday the 12th of August. Children will return to school in groups. Not all the children will be in every day, as I'm sure you know already, but this does mean that not everybody will be starting on the 12th. Shortly you will find out what group your child is in, but remember, all of this is subject to change as we receive further guidance from the council and from the government. So on your child's first day of school, which for all parents this is a big one, it's an emotional day, it's a special day. On your child's first day of school, what we're going to try and do is have 2 sessions on that first day of school, whichever day that may be. One in the morning, a morning session from 9:30 till 11:30, or you'll have an afternoon session from 12:45 to 2:45. And we ask that just one parent accompanies your child. We're doing this because we really do feel it's important for parents to be able to come with their child on their first day of school and come into their classroom and spend that time with them. It's important for them feeling safe and secure, but obviously we're going to have to split the groups up because we can't have too many people in a room at one time. On the second day, the whole of the child's group will come in, and that will be from about 8:55 until around 2:45, but we'll get back to you with exact timings for that. There'll be quite limited room for parents that day, so you may want to stay close around the school so that you can come and see them if they need you. But we're hoping most children will be okay. But obviously, some children may find that more difficult to cope with than others. But we can play it by ear and see how they get on. As it looks at the moment, we are going to be doing a blended learning, which means some learning will be happening in school and some learning will be happening at home. So when they're not in school, they will have learning to do at home, and that will be set by the teachers. We've been doing that obviously since March, and our teachers have become upskilled and much better at it than we were at the beginning. This has been a big learning curve for us as well, but we'll let you know how that's going to look and how you will access that learning closer to the time. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation today. Please do email me if you have any further questions about Primary 1 specifically. Next week there will be much more information coming about which group your child will be in, what days they will be in school. So do hold fire on any questions around that, because that will be coming to you shortly. Thank you very much, and I really look forward to meeting you and your children.